What's up, everybody? This is Clock Management. I'm your host, Justin, and as always, I'm joined by Perry.
Justin, I was thinking, if you were a YouTube ad, I wouldn't hit the skip button.
Nice. Nice.
That's high praise right there.
Yeah, and we don't have YouTube ads because we're cool like that.
Right. But if you guys would like to skip some YouTube ads, just keep subscribing.
Yeah, right?
Right, yeah. Yeah, if your jam's skipping YouTube ads, all you gotta do is hit that subscribe button and tell your friends to hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, we're getting close. Also, Perry, we're like around the corner from football. Can you believe it?
Wait, like over here?
Yeah. Did you see it?
Yeah, I'm so excited. It's just right over there. Why don't we go get it?
Yeah, bring not yet. Next week, bring it over here.
You got it. You got it. No, we're so close. We're so close.
It's crazy.
Yeah, the biggest fantasy draft weekend of the year.
Yeah,
is this coming weekend, man.
Yeah, so make sure you guys binge watch all of our episodes before then. All of them.
All like 103 or whatever we're up to now. Last year's especially, it'll definitely help with this year's draft.
I haven't announced what this month's giveaway is yet. I'll be doing that sometime in the next 2 days. But to enter into it, all you have to do is subscribe, leave a comment. Yeah, subscribe on YouTube, leave a comment, and whatever you want for the comment. No, doesn't matter what it is. Just a comment after you subscribe, and you're entered to win an autographed whatever it is that the fans on Twitter vote.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when do you think you'll be announcing what the options are?
Tomorrow.
Cool.
So I say tomorrow, but by the time they see this, it's happening. Like, you can go vote.
Oh, living in the future.
Yeah.
What's up, Marty McFly?
Make sure, and if you guys don't want to see our faces for whatever reason,
I understand.
You can listen to us on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, just anywhere where there are podcasts, iHeartRadio, everywhere. And we have all social medias too. Like I mentioned, Twitter, we're on there. If you just do the Facebook, we're on that one. Instagram, all of them. Just go there, find us. Same logos that you see everywhere on here, and follow us on there.
Yeah. If you can find me in World of Warcraft, I'll even add you to my friends list, but that has nothing to do with fantasy football.
And good luck. He's like a ghost.
I'm a ghost.
As if I know.
Cool. Well, Justin, what's new with you, man?
Well, before we get into that, just real quick, we're going to be talking about our 2020 bust, players that we think have a high likelihood of just being a complete bust this year. So we'll be getting to that in a second. For me, I'm getting ready for our draft, for our own league of record that we have going back forever. I'm excited about that, and I'm working.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, I don't know if this episode's going to be out in time, but Justin and I, in our home league, we're deciding our draft order. I'm sure some of you have seen it on Twitter and probably voted on it, but we all drafted a roster of movies from 1980 to 2010 was the window. And we each had drafted 5 movies, and we left it up to the Twitterverse to vote. We want to keep it anonymous, so I won't tell you how I'm doing right now. But you should go vote on them, definitely.
Yeah.
And you should vote for my team.
Without telling you which one it is.
You know.
Yeah. If you know me, you know which one it is.
You know. Yeah, so that's been pretty fun, actually. Normally we do like a big competition, but yeah.
COVID
we can't
going
see
on.
each other.
Yeah.
So it's our social distance competition. It worked out really well. And Justin did a bunch of work on it, so thanks, Justin.
Oh, my pleasure. Happy to do it. Yeah, so that's what I have going on. What do you have going on?
I turn 30 tomorrow. So this will be my last podcast in my 20s. So that's kind of
how are
weird.
you taking it? You all right?
I was doing just fine. And then, shout out to Krista, my sister-in-law. She has a niece that I've kind of, known for quite a while. And I saw that niece for the first time a couple weeks ago, for the first time in a few years. And her birthday's also in September. And I told her, well, yeah, your birthday's in September too, but mine comes first. And without skipping a beat, she says, yeah, sure, but at least I'm still young. And it hurt a lot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I didn't feel all the aches and pains of becoming old until that moment.
Yeah,
And
they just
right
all
at that
hit you
moment,
at once.
I was like, somebody get me a chair. My back hurts.
My back, my knees.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Basically,
yeah.
Todd Gurley.
I had to double check, made sure I had my AARP card. Like, she hit me hard. Straight, and she's turning 11. She is young. She's right.
And she probably just said it with just a blank face. Just
yeah.
You take that.
She was on a swing. She was swinging, and she just looks at me and she says, "Yeah, but I'm still young," and just kept on swinging like nothing happened. I was like,
everyone's like, she just killed a man.
Yeah, just somebody help me. So otherwise, I'm doing just fine. My coworkers gifted me a really nice bottle of scotch. It's 120 proof. So, that's what I'm doing right now. And it's delicious, but it's strong.
Water, it's 0 proof.
Yeah, nice. Got a nice nose on it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because I have to work in the morning, unfortunately. Do you work tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, completely unrelated to this, but all right.
I do work tomorrow, but I get paid to taste whiskey.
That's also true.
So I figure this is just creative research.
Yeah, even if you were to come in with a hangover, they're like, what were you doing? Late night work.
Yeah, I was working late. All right, you're welcome. I'll be taking a nap upstairs. Oh, man. Okay, well, I have a bunch of news.
Yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear it. Yeah, there's some big news that just happened today, in fact.
Yeah, and if I miss anything, Justin, please point it out. Biggest piece of news, we don't even have to bring up the first part of this news because Leonard Fournette is now a Buccaneer. Spoiler, Leonard Fournette is no longer a Jaguar. So he agreed to a 1-year deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This hurts Leonard Fournette, in my opinion. I think that's pretty easy to understand why with LaShawn McCoy and Ronald Jones there.
But it's a huge benefit from 24 hours ago when he wasn't on a roster.
True. But I definitely do not see Leonard Fournette as a workhorse back now, which was kind of like his biggest advantage. Now, he'll be on a much better offense, which is great. If Ronald Jones were to get hurt or something, all of a sudden I'll like Leonard Fournette a whole lot more, but they've got Keyshawn Vaughn, they've got LaShawn McCoy.
I mean, the shell of LaShawn McCoy.
Sure, but...
Yeah, but still, a body.
Leonard Fournette really showed us that he could catch the ball last season, and I think LaShawn McCoy's going to get quite a bit of the passing down work. So
yeah. And you remember before when I was talking about, before even LaShawn McCoy got there, I was saying whichever one of these running backs shows that they can pass block is going to be the one on the field. The good thing is Leonard Fournette can pass block, so he's definitely going to be the lead back there. Like, there's no question about that.
Yeah, no kidding. And you know what? If Tom Brady has a lot of control over how that offense rolls, which I think he might.
Yeah, they instantly, like, as soon as they became the Patriots, they start bringing players in. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what the Patriots always did, was the players would want to play for them, and that's what just happened with Leonard Fournette. He's like, let me go to this team. Yeah,
I think Leonard Fournette's range of value just got a whole lot wider. If he becomes, like, the goal line guy, the passing down guy, he could be very good.
Yeah.
But he also could just be like low end RB3 now.
Yeah. Have you updated your rankings at all since this?
I haven't. No.
Yeah, I haven't.
The
got
news
to
dropped
mine
when I
yet.
was at work.
Yeah.
But he'll be dropping pretty far, honestly, my rankings. I actually, I like Leonard Fournette a lot. I still like him. I still think he's a really good running back. But the situation now is just worse in terms
I feel like
of him scoring fantasy points.
I feel like he's a mid-round flex, just my gut feeling right now, without going through and updating everything. Initial gut feeling tells me probably mid-round flex. A lot of people are super hyped on this because of him going to the high-powered offense, but like you said, the lack of volume that he's going to be getting. And, I mean, Jacksonville, man, they just completely embraced the tank.
I mean, did you see the reports of like some of his teammates on Jacksonville being completely blindsided by this move?
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I really don't.
And
I mean, there must be some kind of locker room issue here that we haven't been made aware of. I don't know.
I mean, he had some locker room issues last season with the front office, and they expressed interest in trying to trade him, but to completely cut him and get nothing for him, like, that's insane.
Yeah. It feels too late in the game for a move like that.
Gardner Minshew actually moving up my ranking slightly just because they're going to be forced to throw the ball nonstop at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. Gardner Minshew could have a big volume season, but I still think his efficiency is not going to be super great. But
yeah, he's not going to be better as a quarterback, but they're going to throw the ball a lot.
I think if you've got him in like a super flex or 2-quarterback league, that could be a pretty good little sleeper play there as a second quarterback.
Yeah.
Another release, not a huge name, but somebody that could have been fantasy relevant. Mohamed Sanu has been released by the Patriots. Kind of surprising, honestly. I really thought that Mohamed Sanu would kind of play like a fairly important role in this offense, but they seem to really like Nikhil Harry.
Yeah, especially because Mohamed Sanu said he had a chip on his shoulder after being fully healthy from surgery, and he had something to prove.
Yeah, this definitely moves Nikhil Harry up, at least his ceiling up. But I also think Nikhil Harry's floor is really, really low. So I'm personally avoiding Nikhil Harry unless I get him as my 4th or 5th wide receiver.
You will.
Yeah,
his ADP is so low. I love Nikhil Harry because his ceiling's so high. His floor is low, but he's got a great ceiling, especially with Cam Newton there. I think Cam can push the ball down the field to him, so I like him. I think he's got a big ceiling, and he's so late in the draft. Like, I'm taking a shot on him.
Yeah, I think if he fell to the right spot for me, I would probably take a shot on him. I'm trying to pull up right now where his rankings are. Okay, so, I mean, Curtis Samuel or Nikhil Harry?
Nikhil Harry.
Robbie Anderson or Nikhil Harry?
Nikhil Harry. Justin
Jefferson or Nikhil Harry?
Oh, Jefferson.
Yeah, Jefferson's only 4 spots ahead of him. So, I don't know. He would just have to fall to the right spot for me. Like Alan Lazard or Nikhil Harry. I know you like Alan Lazard.
Yeah, that's tough, but I'm probably going Harry.
Okay, cool. I think you're a little bit higher on him than me, but I admit his ceiling is incredibly high. There's been a lot of buzz around Alvin Kamara the last few days about him not attending practice. Apparently, there's been some contract negotiations that haven't been going well. Both him and his agent have come out and said that there is no intention on him holding out, that he's been in the building every single one of these days that he missed, that they're just kind of far off on a contract, but he intends to play in the 2020 season. So he returned to practice today. Today is Wednesday, the 2nd of September. So nothing to really worry about there. I'm not worried about Alvin Kamara at all holding out.
I'm slightly worried about Alvin Kamara, but it has nothing to do with the contract dispute. It was the other part of what his agent had said. The reason why he was inside the facility is because he had an epidural shot in his back, which that's concerning. Like, why did he have an epidural shot in his back? What happened? And so that worries me a little bit. Like, is he good to go week 1? Because that's next week.
I think we would have heard more, but it's definitely something like this could be one of those like scratches that we come out of nowhere. So just pay attention to that. Alvin Kamara, I mean, how far does he have to fall in the first round for you to draft him now, Justin?
Probably pick 6.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a chance he gets there.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen it happen in drafts. I've done a couple mocks. I've actually done like 3 mocks in the last 2 days. So,
yeah,
and he did in one of them. So,
CEH is moving up big time, and he's starting to crowd into that like top 6.
Yeah, he's getting too high.
Yeah,
I like him, but come on, redraft. You can't put him that high.
Yeah, that seems super sketchy. Joe Mixon and the Bengals have reached a 4-year agreement for $48 million extension. That's great. I don't think we were too worried about anything like him holding out, right? There was no talk of that, but it seems that they want to lock him down. It makes me fully confident in the fact that they want to get him the ball. They want him involved in the offense, and they're going to work through him with Joe Burrow there. This is all good news for me and Joe Mixon. It just kind of solidified everything that I think everybody's been kind of hyped about. Now it proves that the team is also hyped around Joe Mixon as well. Staying with the Bengals real quick, AJ Green still limited in practice
and in life.
What have I been telling you guys? Stay away from AJ Green. Do not draft AJ Green. I don't care how good AJ Green used to be. AJ Green hasn't really played actual football in almost 2 years.
And everyone the argument's always like, yeah, but if he can return to where he was, he can't. He cannot.
No.
Yeah,
of course he can't.
And if Terrell Owens could return to where he was in his prime, he'd be in the NFL. But that's not possible. So
we're going to talk about Gronk in a little bit. But people have no problem saying like, oh, be cautious with Gronk. Don't go too high on Gronk. He hasn't played football for a year. He's coming back from, he's had injuries. It's the same thing with AJ Green, except it's
more
been 2
extreme.
years. Yeah. So I don't get it. Excuse me. Auden Tate. I like Auden Tate a lot as a late round. He's moving up boards like crazy, so maybe not that late round. But literally he's being described by the team as the MVP of training camp. Auden Tate. That's great. That's stuff I want to hear, and you don't have to spend as much on Auden Tate as you do on AJ Green. Don't be an idiot. Okay. Moving on here. Jalen Reagor won't need surgery for his shoulder, but he is expected to miss 4 weeks, which means that he is probably out week 1 and week 2 of the regular season. This is a bummer. I was really high on Jalen Reagor.
Yeah, it's crushing to Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm. I'm hoping that he just slips further and further down rankings. I hope people just don't draft him because they're upset about the fact that they might miss 2 games of his. I'll still draft him late, and that's fine.
You don't have him those 2 weeks. That's fine.
I didn't want to draft him to start him anyways right away. So, yeah, I just hope that this isn't like a reoccurring thing with him.
But yeah, and man, Ertz, that's a positive thing for Ertz.
Yeah. People are talking about J.J. Arcega-Whiteside really, taking over here. I don't see that happening. I see Deshaun Jackson having a massive week 1 and then getting hurt. And then Zach Ertz just doing the Zach Ertz thing where he gets all the targets for like 6 yards at a time.
Yeah, Zach Ertz and Goddard both gonna they could both be startable tight ends until Reagor gets back.
Yeah, Dallas Goedert, if you go like 0 tight end, like you don't draft a tight end, you're the last team to draft a tight end in redraft, and you want to reach for Dallas Goedert for the first couple weeks, go for it. He could win you like 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks, honestly, with like 2 touchdowns and like 40 yards. Debo Samuel could return to practice next week, which means he has a chance to play in week 2 and maybe even week 1 if all goes well during practice. This would be really unexpected with Debo Samuel.
I think it's more that they need him to, because every wide receiver they have signed has gotten hurt.
I honestly, if I were the 49ers, I would just look at it as we have a good team. Let's make sure that our number one wide receiver is healthy. If we lose the first 2 games, like if we lose week 1 and week 2, they can still fully recover and make the playoffs, no problem. But if Debo Samuel were to come out and re-fracture that foot, oof, that would be pretty bad. I wouldn't risk it if I were them, but it's not up to me. Sorry. Is that loud?
It was.
You guys awake? Yeah, won't prop that up anymore. Anyways, I don't know if I'm ready to draft Debo Samuel even close to where he was before the injury, but it's kind of like the Jalen Reagor situation. If I'm going to tell you guys that you should sit on Jalen Reagor, you should probably also sit on Debo Samuel, as in draft him later and just kind of wait for him to start doing amazing things later on in the season.
Yeah, he has fallen down ADP quite a bit since his injury, which is nice if he does make it back for week 1 to the value you could get in him.
Right. Oh, okay. And the last piece of news here is regarding KJ Hamler, rookie wide receiver for the Denver Broncos. It's more about he could get placed on injured reserve. He could start the season on injured reserve with a hamstring injury that kept him from running on the combine. It's a similar situation to Drew Lock in 2019, who started on IR. I think this is really, really good for, oh my gosh, help me out, Justin.
I'm sorry, I was reading something. Who were you?
Jerry Judy.
Jerry
So
Judy.
I think it's really good for Jerry Judy. I'm so sorry. KJ Hamler was the biggest thing I was worried about with Jerry Judy is them trying to work Hamler in to see what they have in him. If he's going to start the season on IR, Jerry Judy's he's going to be the number 2 wide receiver, no doubt, on that team. So, cool. So that's everything I wanted to talk about. Jerry Judy's still 51st ranked wide receiver currently in fantasy for 2020 consensus ranking. So still super, super cheap.
I like Jerry Judy. Again, the only thing holding back Jerry Judy is Drew Lock. Drew Lock has everything he needs to succeed. We just need him to do it now.
All news from camp is good.
Yeah.
Regarding Drew Lock. So, if we're only going to go off what we heard this season so far, that's great. I mean, that's good, right? All you want.
Yeah.
We can laugh about it, but
no, I just laughed because you said this season. Yeah. Like we haven't had one yet. But no, like completely. Again, you're going to get all this good news out of every camp about players, but sometimes you get bad news, and that's scary. When you hear bad news about a player in camp, that's also being exaggerated, usually to be better than what it actually is.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So that's all the news I had. Like I said, it was kind of a lot of news today. I tried to run through it pretty quick, but you got news nobody cares about?
I do. All right. So first one, probably the least exciting, but a lot of fun to watch. Joe Judge ran a fumble drill where he made a mud pit in the middle of a field, and then he showed the players how to do it. All the players stood around chanting his name, and then they threw the ball in the mud, and he ran and dove in the mud to recover the football.
Nice. Nice. We should make that our draft competition next year.
Just throw the ball in the middle of a muddy field, and whoever gets it gets first pick. And then you throw the ball.
Right. And then you're out, and then the last person is, oh, dude, that would be fun.
Yeah.
But my wife would be so bad at that.
And, she would hate all of us.
Uh-huh. Joel would hurt somebody.
Yeah,
let's move on. Joel would literally hurt somebody.
He would.
Okay.
All right. So next we have Pat Mahomes got his Super Bowl ring finally, and his girlfriend got a ring because he proposed to her. So now he's engaged, which is awesome. They've been together since high school, I believe. I saw their prom picture from high school, but it's big news on all the sports websites.
It's big news.
Yeah. Headline news. I mean,
Super
sure.
fantasy relevant.
Yeah, sure. We just had Leonard Fournette get cut by his team unexpectedly and then signed to the team that Tom Brady decided to go to. But who cares about that? Pat Mahomes is now engaged.
Thank God. No, I wish him the best.
Yeah, but fantasy-wise, who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Probably football-wise in general.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins had a controversial statement on a podcast, not ours. That's probably why it was so controversial.
I saw this.
Yeah. He was asked about coronavirus and playing with coronavirus going on, and his reply was, "If I die, I die."
That wasn't his entire quote.
Yeah, that's the part that's in the headlines, though.
Yeah.
And then, did you see his former teammates reply to this? Clark?
No.
Oh, he was on ESPN earlier today, and he went in on Kirk Cousins. He is like, Kirk Cousins is not tough. You know, he wants to like downplay the, people who have lost stuff with coronavirus by saying something like this to try and come off as being a tough guy. He's like, I used to play with the dude. He's not tough. He's like, when I was on the team, if I had to choose 10 of the toughest dudes on the team to go with me somewhere, Kirk Cousins would not be one of them.
So he could be the 11th, though.
That's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm. Which means he'd be on the field.
Well, not if the guy's including himself.
Okay, Kirk Cousins is the 12th man. Welcome to Seattle, buddy.
He's going to be cheering them on because he's so tough.
He's the hype man.
Takes a lot of toughness to be a hype man.
You like that?
Yes. That is a good role for him, though. I mean, to be honest.
He had me hyped.
I was like, I did like that. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, man, I'm going to go get those pizza rolls.
I love those.
Dude, they're so good.
And dangerous.
I know. Yeah. All right, what else you got?
That's all the news no one cares about. Let's talk about some busts.
Yeah, so these are potential busts.
Yeah.
They have not busted yet.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a lot easier if we chose players who have already busted.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll start with a running back here.
Darius Geis. See, ones that already busted.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Although, I don't think... No. Darius Geis, there were no expectations for me on Darius Geis. I've been saying this for so long, and him pulling all this crap is just like, uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we didn't expect what he did. We expected an injury, to be fair. So he surprised us.
Okay. My running back potential bust is James Conner, and I don't think that this one is all that surprising for a lot of people. Not just because of how I feel about James Conner, but how I think most people probably feel and should feel about James Conner. James Conner came in and filled in for Le'Veon Bell, and did really, really well in Le'Veon Bell's absence. But he didn't have like the full workload. And then in 2019, they tried to give him the full workload. He couldn't handle it. Lots of injuries, really ineffective when he was on the field. And I don't see what's changing in 2020 with his situation, or at least what's going to improve for him, other than Ben Roethlisberger returning. And even then, I don't think it makes that big of a difference. You know, if he were to improve on his 2020 season by just a little bit, he's still a bust at this point, being drafted ahead of Melvin Gordon, Jonathan Taylor, David Johnson, Le'Veon Bell. I mean, these are all guys that I would rather have than James Conner, and I don't even like all those guys like a ton. So I don't know. I know you love Melvin Gordon. You would clearly take Melvin Gordon over James Conner.
I would take every one of those over him.
Perfect. I completely agree. I'm gonna allow you right now to do your honorable mention.
Well, first, I completely agree with you.
This has to do with it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. My honorable mention, Todd Gurley. Like, it's just a dude I have, like, every time we talk about a bust, I have to mention him. It's
Yeah.
in my contract that I wrote for myself.
I wouldn't let Justin use him as one of his guys because that horse it's dead.
Yeah.
Stop touching the horse, Justin.
No,
It's gross.
like I said, every time I walk by, it gets a kick.
Okay. Todd Gurley is currently ranked 16th. James Conner 17th. Who would you take?
Oh God, James Conner, and I would not feel good about it.
No way. I'm taking Todd Gurley, and I agree with a lot of your Todd Gurley sentiment. That's how much I don't trust James Conner. I just don't trust him. There's a
God. I'm not taking either one of them, Perry. Don't do that to me.
You have to take one of them. There's a very good chance that it could be James Conner, Benny Snell, Anthony McFarland. All three of them just are going to get work. And then I think that's probably the best case scenario for James Conner. If they try and make him a workhorse running back, he'll last a week and a half. And I'm standing on that statement.
Oh man, yeah.
You take Gurley.
Oh God, I would.
You would.
No, I wouldn't take either of them. First of all,
you would. You'd take Todd Gurley. I know it.
No, I don't want either of them at all. I don't want either one of those on my team at all.
Just stands up from the couch. Nope,
Yeah,
I quit.
I quit fantasy football.
I quit fantasy football. Bye.
Yeah, I just won't have a pick this turn.
This isn't the presidential election.
just skip my pick. All right, so the running back that, since Perry would not allow me to continue to beat the dead horse, that is Todd Gurley. Just to be clear.
I literally wouldn't allow it. He read it off and I was like, no. No. Somebody else.
Yeah, I love to just punish him just over and over. I mean, he does it to himself, but so the player I did end up choosing though is
TJ Yeldon.
Yes, nice one, Perry.
Yeah.
Take that, TJ Yeldon. No, it's Raheem Mostert. And the reason why is because Raheem Mostert is he's being drafted way too high, first of all. But the issue I have with him and you're getting him where you're going to be starting him. And he's in one of the most crowded backfields in the NFL. And he does he's starter week 1, but is he the starter week 3? Is he the starter week 7? You don't know. Every week it could be a different dude who's running this backfield that you're hoping that you have the starting running back every week when you're setting your lineup. And he won't be some weeks. There's just going to be some weeks where they decide it's a Tevin Coleman week, and that's going to suck for you. When the dude that you're drafting to be a top running back or a starting caliber running back for you, and some of the other players going around him that I would rather start. I mean, first of all, Melvin Gordon, Le'Veon Bell, both those going just ahead of him, and then just behind him you have Devin Singletary, Cam Akers, and David Montgomery. And then Kareem Hunt. I would rather have any of those dudes than Mostert. How about you, Perry?
Is that in standard that you're looking at right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then half point PPR, which is what we play. You've got DeAndre Swift also in that mix. So.
Yeah, DeAndre Swift on standards, one below Hunt.
So I think Raheem Mostert has a lot of interesting potential this season, but currently in half point being the 24th ranked running back, and having Cam Akers, Kareem Hunt, DeAndre Swift, Devin Singletary, David Montgomery all going directly after him, that's where my issue lies.
Yeah.
Is I don't want to take Raheem Mostert as a number 2 back, which is where he's ranked, 24th ranked running back. I don't see that happening. I think his ceiling is well above that, but his floor is well below that. This could be like boom bust. This could be Deshaun Jackson level, but in running back form, where he literally has like a 3 touchdown day and then does nothing for the next 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would take any of the guys going after him. So that's why I probably won't have Raheem Mostert. I kind of want somebody to just like take him, right?
I don't want him on the board. I don't want him to fall a couple picks because
like
I don't want to think about
it. Right, like if I get into the 4th round and like, or the 5th round, and Raheem Mostert's sitting there, I'm going to be kind of pissed. Like I hope somebody just takes him right ahead of me in the 5th round, and I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I completely agree because he is a player that I could completely see just falling off the map. And you're just like so upset because you drafted him to be a starting caliber player.
Yeah, I don't think he will be. Okay, moving on to my wide receiver bust here, and this one. Okay, so this one is less of a guarantee. Right, these guys were supposed to be potential busts, and this one might be a little bit more surprising. I don't think that this guy is a bust. I just think that there's a chance here that people are expecting a little too much of him, and that's Adam Thielen, wide receiver for the Vikings. Adam Thielen is currently in half-point PPR, ranked the 11th wide receiver, ahead of Juju Smith-Schuster, Odell Beckham Jr., Amari Cooper, Robert Woods, A.J. Brown. My biggest issue with Adam Thielen is the fact that Kevin Stefanski has moved Adam Thielen out of the slot. Adam Thielen is one of the best slot receivers when he's playing in the slot. And the fact that he's being moved to the outside and they're going to have Justin Jefferson play the slot really worries me for Adam Thielen. He's not going to have Stephon Diggs there to take off some of the pressure. So that's already an issue. And then he's going to be put into a position where he was already less efficient. And then you're also having to draft him very high as a wide receiver 1. And I don't really want Adam Thielen as my wide receiver 1. I would rather have Odell Beckham Jr., to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, I would for sure.
Yeah. Let's see. Adam Thielen or Amari Cooper.
Oh, Adam Thielen for me, but you know how I feel about Cooper.
Adam Thielen or Robert Woods, who's going 5th. He's the 15th.
I would go Woods.
Yeah. I mean, there's like A.J. Brown is the 16th, and I might take A.J. Brown instead of Adam Thielen, which means like it would happen like right around a turn for me, and I would just skip Adam Thielen, let 3 picks go by, and then I'd grab A.J. Brown instead.
Yeah.
I'm really worried about Adam Thielen. I fully admit that he could come out and do that thing where he had like 11 games in a row with 100 yards, or I think it was more like 7, but 7 games in a row with 100 yards and be incredible. That could happen. But there's a lot of things here working against him. You know, we have to look at situation. We're going to praise guys that land in great situations where things change around them to improve them. We also need to address the fact that Adam Thielen's situation got worse in 2020. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely did. I mean, there are some vacated targets there that he could benefit from, but like you said, they moved him to the outside, which is not beneficial for him.
Right.
And both me and you both really like the rookie Justin Jefferson coming in there.
And Justin Jefferson has officially been slated as the number 3 wide receiver on the team. I think he will eventually be the number 2 a few games into the season. But he will be in all three wide receiver sets.
Yeah.
Playing the slot, which is perfect for him.
Yeah, so I'm okay with that one. I'm not quite as low on him, I think, as you, but I understand I can see the argument to it.
Yeah. I mean, if I get Adam Thielen as like my 2nd wide receiver and I went running back, that'd be great.
Yeah, like you said, I would rather have Odell Beckham, so I'm probably,
right.
In that situation, I'm probably getting Odell Beckham anyway.
Yeah, me too. Yep.
All right, so my guy isn't as high of a draft capital pick as yours, but it's just a guy that I see going later in drafts that I just don't think warrants it. And that's Julian Edelman. He's going as again this is in non PPR, but he's going as the wide receiver 33.
Same in half point.
Okay, cool. And overall player 75. But like some of the players around him, I'll give you a couple of the ones just above him first. You got Tyler Boyd, Michael Gallup, Jarvis Landry, and Hollywood Brown just above him. Just below him, I'm going to agree on this one. Will Fuller. I'd take Edelman over him. Next one, Brandon Cooks. No way. Marvin Jones, Debo Samuels. Like, I would take all three of those over him. And the reasoning is, like you said, the situation has changed for Edelman in quite a bit. Like he's on the same team, he's playing the same spot he's been playing. None of that changed. But Tom Brady has left from that team. Tom Brady has been a staple of that team since Julian Edelman has been there playing. So, like, this is a brand new situation for him. And we saw last year, like, Tom Brady in almost every key situation, his first, second, and third look was Julian Edelman. He didn't trust any of the other wide receivers, so he would just throw the ball to Julian Edelman in every situation. Cam Newton doesn't have that rapport with Julian Edelman. Julian Edelman wasn't getting those targets because he was more athletic, he was more open, he was, doing things right on the field. He had it just because he had built that trust with Tom Brady. He got targets. You're going to see those targets go away, and I fully expect them go to someone like a Nikhil Harry due to the fact that Nikhil Harry is athletic. He's younger there. He's going to be more open than Julian Edelman. You have a new quarterback there. He's throwing it to the more open wide receiver. Like, he's not like, I trust you to catch the ball even if you're covered, because he doesn't know you like that.
Yeah, I completely agree. I've made it very clear that the Patriots offense scares me immensely. I will say that Julian Edelman probably has the most obvious value on that team. As in he will get work. Yeah. But as getting the Julian Edelman of old is probably out the door.
Oh yeah. And the only players that I really touch on this team are two players that are very late in the draft, and that's if I'm in a 2-quarterback league or Superflex, I'll take Cam, and Nikhil Harry is a wide receiver I'll grab at the end of the draft.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I've got a tight end to talk about here, and I can't believe I have to say it, but Rob Gronkowski. Rob Gronkowski is being drafted as a number 1 tight end right now, which is crazy. Like, I understand that he's one of the greatest tight ends of all time, but the dude, for all the same reasons, AJ Green, right? The dude's been out a year, battled injuries. It just, the news out of camp hasn't been amazing, right? Recently, we were told that he struggled with a 16-play drive in the team's most recent scrimmage. So he might not be able to handle the full workload. There's 2 other great tight ends on the team, in OJ Howard and Cameron Breit. And yes, I understand that I just said OJ Howard's a great tight end, but OJ Howard is a talented tight end. I don't know what happened last season. I expect OJ Howard to have probably a more efficient season this season, but there's three mouths to feed here at tight end, and Gronkowski being drafted at 10, right? He's the 10th drafted tight end. That means you expect him to start. That means you plan to use Rob Gronkowski. I don't know if I'm willing to do it. I really don't. Right behind him, Jared Cook, Austin Hooper, Mike Gesicki, TJ Hawkinson, Noah Fant, Jonnu Smith, Dallas Goedert. These are all guys that could end up at 10. And if you're going to go ahead, like Jonnu Smith, I would think I would rather take Jonnu Smith as a flyer than invest the draft capital into Rob Gronkowski right now.
Yeah, Jonnu Smith or I'm big on Gesicki. I would like either one of those two. I'm taking either one of those guys over him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not worth it to me. It just seems so risky. I think people are reading too much into this narrative of Tom Brady's going to go to his comfort zone. It's like, no, Tom Brady is going to win. And Rob Gronkowski is, I don't think he's the window to winning for the Buccaneers when they have Chris Godwin and Mike Evans on the team. Like, and Leonard Fournette now. Like, come on. You think about it. Sorry. Sorry. It just seems obvious to me.
No, I completely agree. And like Leonard Fournette there, of all the players on the team, probably hurts Gronkowski the most. Because like those goals, those like that's where Gronkowski was going to make his money, was getting touchdowns.
And even then, they have two big-bodied wide receivers.
Yeah, yeah. And now, I mean, Fournette's going to get a couple of those, even, take even more away from him. Yeah. So, yeah, I completely agree. Gronk was not a guy I was in on at any point, and yeah, I completely agree.
For me, it was like I had some interest when he was like at like 16 or 17. Like that's where he was ranked, and he was being drafted as such. And it was like, well, in a deep league, all right, sure, or like something like I might be able to use him here somewhere. But now it's like, oh, I have to draft him and I have to start him.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Nope, not interested. I will pass on Gronk every time.
Yeah, and it's name value. That's why you're getting like what you're paying for,
right?
Which gives you no fantasy points, in case you guys are wondering.
Yeah, so. True. And if you're in a league that does that, that's interesting. How do you do that?
Yeah, I'm interested.
How does that scoring work?
You've gained my attention. The tight end that I was going to bring up as a big possible bust candidate is Austin Hooper. Austin Hooper moved teams, got his bag, taken that to the bank, but unfortunately he will not be getting the target share that he did in Atlanta. Like he's not having Matt Ryan throw him the ball anymore. He's having Baker Mayfield throw him the ball. He's also not the only talented tight end on that team. David Njoku is still there, and the team reassured him he has a role on this team when he requested a trade. So he's still there. He has a role. Then you also have Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry. And again, Baker Mayfield is not Matt Ryan. He's not going to throw the ball as many times as Matt Ryan does in a game. They also have two of the best running backs in the NFL back there. So it's just not going to happen. You're not going to see the volume share that he got. But he's being drafted like as if, well, not as if he'll finish where he did last year, but as if he's going to finish, pretty close to there. So it's just not a guy I'm willing to take that risk on. Too many variables moving to the new team, all these other pass options, the running backs. Like I'm just not in on that.
Yeah. Yeah, had he stayed in Atlanta, I mean, this would be a completely different conversation. But
absolutely,
yeah, for everything you said.
Yeah, what up, Hayden Hurst?
What up, buddy? Coming for you. All right.
And then this last one.
Yeah, we're gonna tag team this one.
Oh,
right?
God, yeah, let's do it.
All right. So we're like the Hardy Boys right now. So I'll start off. Josh Allen, number 7, currently in quarterback for 6 point per passing touchdown leagues. I understand that Josh Allen has a very high floor because he likes to run the ball, but man, those passing numbers, for me, I have a problem taking a quarterback like Josh Allen ahead of people like Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz, Drew Brees, even Tom Brady, Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers. These are all people going after Matt Ryan by like quite a bit.
After Josh Allen.
Thank you. Sorry, you know how much I love Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
After Josh Allen, it just seems absurd to me that we're going to take a guy that's is he still not passed for 300 yards in a game yet? No, he has not.
Yeah.
It seems really far-fetched to just expect him to be at the same level as like Deshaun Watson. I just can't see it. I don't trust it. I'm not willing to draft him as high as he's going.
Yeah, and like, so we all expected, people expected improvement at his quarterback play, going from his rookie year to his second year, right? Which he did improve. His accuracy went up 6%, and it's still a horrible accuracy.
Yeah, it's
like,
really bad.
He is not an accurate quarterback. He also is not like a high volume quarterback, which means that he's just not throwing the ball much, and his value comes from him running the ball, which he has been efficient at. But he's going to lose some of those touchdowns due to Zach Moss coming there as well. Zach Moss is a big dude that they want to run 1 yard into that end zone.
He had 9 rushing touchdowns last season.
Yeah.
There's no way he gets even close to that number again.
I think I projected him at 4.
4. 4. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was going to say 4. There's no way he gets close to 9. His rushing numbers were actually a lot worse than they were in 2018. Like his best rushing game in 2020 was 56 yards. He broke 100 yards almost 4 times in 2018. So he's so artificially inflated by those 9 rushing touchdowns last season. I just had to jump in there.
Yeah, and that's something that teams can scheme for. Because, like, if you're not afraid, he's not, Pat Mahomes or Lamar Jackson, where if you start putting a QB spy on him and you start, like, containing him, you have to worry about him throwing the ball, 50 yards down the field for a touchdown. Because he's probably going to miss the receiver by 20 yards anyway. Mm-hmm. So it's not as big of a threat. And then also, they don't have big threat. They don't have a Tyreek Hill. They have a Tyreek Hill light there. So, yeah. I mean, it's not the same situation as those, but people want to equate it to that. And it's not the same thing. There's no way he comes close to that. I want to say I have him just inside my top 10 quarterbacks.
I have him at 12 now. Like, he's at 12. I did more, like, every time I look at those 9 rushing touchdowns, it's so obvious to me that that's not happening again. That it just hurts him. I would love to have Josh Allen right around that 12th ranked quarterback. Like, for me, Josh Allen seems like somebody that I should get right around Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers. And there's no way I can get Josh Allen there. So it's like, nope, I'm not doing it. It just seems so obvious to me. And we could be completely wrong. And, in like 8 months, we could be talking about guys that we really missed on. And Josh Allen could be one of them for sure. None of these guys that we've mentioned are guaranteed busts, except James Conner. But yeah, I'm
Todd Gurley.
No.
Oh, sorry. That's not what we're...
Stop going back to the horse, Justin. It's gross. It smells bad. It makes you smell bad.
It's like a dog rolling in a dead animal.
Exactly. That's what I'm...
Yeah. But I can't resist like the dog.
I had a couple honorable mentions. One of them being Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Only thing here is he's a rookie. He's a rookie. There's no guarantee that he gets all the workload we're expecting him to get, and he's now creeping into like the top 6 picks in the draft. That's insane.
Yeah, that's too high.
If you draft him at number 6 and he is the 12th running back, that's a bust at that point, or at least it's pretty underperforming. And then Kenyan Drake. I really like Kenyan Drake, but he's never had the complete workload for a season. We could have a similar situation like we did with James Conner going into his second season.
Yeah, I'd say the Kenyan Drake is a high risk one.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those. Yeah. Clyde and him both big risk, high reward. But like, I feel like Kenyan Drake has the ability to outperform his draft pick, and Clyde does not at this point. Clyde's being drafted at his ceiling now.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. I mean, unless he becomes like a generational talent, and but
yeah,
there's no guarantee there.
Yeah, I'm not predicting that.
Yeah. Cool. All right, man.
All right. So yeah, that'll cover our bus, and we'll start getting ready to start our season here soon, man. I'm excited. I'm excited, Perry.
I just hope it works out, man. I'm happy we're gonna get some games. I think there's a guarantee there that we're gonna get some games. Just gotta keep wearing your masks, people. All right.
Let's get there.
We can watch football, right? For whatever reason, just make your reason football, please. I don't know. It's got to help some way.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.